What is our next email today?
All right, moving on to Thomas Story. The love you have for Russell Crowe is the same way I feel about Denzel Washington. I almost feel like he's so famous that people take for granted just how good he is. I was wondering if you saw that he just signed up to be in a new cop thriller called Little Things. I love him when he plays a cop. Anyway, do you know much about it, and what are your thoughts? Thanks.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Whenever Denzel Washington is going to be in something, that demands your attention. Now, for those of you who don't know what he was talking about in the email here, he has signed up to be in this new movie called Little Things. Here's the actual report from Variety. It says this. The story for the movie Little Things follows a burned out Kern County deputy sheriff named Deke, played by Denzel Washington, who teams with a crack LASD detective, Baxter, to reel in a wily serial killer. Deke's nose for the quote-unquote little things proves eerily accurate, but his willingness to circumvent the rules embroils Baxter in a soul-shattering dilemma. Ooh, a cop tracking a serial killer who works outside the rules. Never heard of that before, but it's Denzel Washington doing it, so I'm all for it. Anyway, Robert, you're hearing about this movie. Does this initially get you excited for it? You're looking forward to this?
Well, look, I feel the same way about. I'm a huge Denzel Washington fan. I mean, I love everything about him. I love everything that he does. He's 64 years old. Crazy. And I mean, it's incredible that his movies he did with Tony Scott, with whether it was Crimson Tide or Man on Fire, even I have a soft spot for Deja Vu. I mean, I love Denzel Washington, and I do love Russell Crowe as well. They're making a great 6-scale figure of Maximus from Gladiator this year, which is fantastic because I've got 2 bootleg figures in the past. But Denzel is I love the fact that he's allowing himself, rather than trying to cling to some action star persona, he did things like Fences that he directed.
Yep.
And this is, he's allowing himself to play a grizzled, older, properly aged, burnt out cop up in Kern County. Kern County is, well, Ashley was just in Kern County. And I think that it's great that he's doing this. And I'm sure when he does that hangdog persona of his that he's been doing lately, I love it. I can't wait.
I was going to say, and there was a serial killer last time I was in Kern County. True story. I was camping and I was hanging out with my friends, and one of the campsite ladies came over and she's like, "Hey girls." And we thought she was going to say, "Be quiet." And she's like, "Just so you know, someone escaped from the local prison and there's a killer on the campsite." And I was like,
have a nice
what?
day.
Yeah. And then she left. And then me and my friend were just like, ah. And then she came back an hour later and she says, "Okay, we think that he left, but he is in camouflage suit." And then we went to a little diner the next morning and we saw all over the paper. I was like, maybe he wasn't like so violent, but he kidnapped 2 prison guards and killed someone. So, yeah. Wow. I mean, maybe this is based off of that experience of mine.
Did your friend come home with you?
By the Tourism Board of San Francisco.
I know.